6.
Misael's number 6 is Memento. Did you watch this movie for the first time?
I did. And actually, no. I watched it once when a long time
You were
ago.
too young to understand.
I was too young to understand.
It was just on.
I think even now I was too young to understand.
Really? Wow, okay.
That movie was it was something else. I had to
and you still have it this high. That goes to show how good it is.
So I told Anthony, because I watched it with
I'm Anthony, by the way.
With my brothers.
I'm both
Sorry.
Gabe and Anthony. It's okay.
Gabe and Anthony.
They got to learn. It's okay.
And I told him, I'm like, dude, I was watching it with my brothers, and I remember at the end of the movie, the three of us just like looked at each other like, what?
This was the one you were talking about? Because you had told me
what
that.
happened? But again,
I watched this by myself, so I was just like enthralled the whole way.
it's wild. It's a ride. This movie is like, it's a trip.
Dude, I'll give my thoughts later, like I'll expand, but like 15 minutes in, like Jets was doing laundry, she came back in, and like 15 minutes in, I was just like, girl, this movie, I was like, like explaining it to her, and we're only like 15 minutes in, and she's just like, oh, that sounds cool.
It was wild. I was just like, I remember again, it was maybe like 20 minutes in, I was like, I don't think I fully understand what's going on in this movie. But I was intrigued. And this one is like the one that really shines and shows Nolan as like the way he likes messing with time.
Exactly.
Because it's like, the way I understood it is that we had the start, the beginning and the end. And he was going back and forth. Like this.
Yeah.
You know, like...
So, the way that the story's told, and I picked up... Like this movie, honestly, I'm surprised, did not confuse me at all.
Really?
Like, I had no... Because
it took me a while to kind of grasp it, but, man, I was like, I don't think I fully understand what's going on.
So, after it was done, whatever, I looked up, like, a YouTube video... Mm-hmm. Or it was like days later, because this was like a couple days ago. So, like, maybe like 2 days after I watched it, I looked up a YouTube video, because it got recommended to me, because I watched my movies on YouTube. So I looked up Memento, rented on YouTube, whatever. And so it was recommending me this video of Christopher Nolan actually explaining the story and how it's broken down. But from him explaining that, I was just like, I'm surprised I got it. Like, I'm surprised I got it the first time. Because, again, I didn't understand what he was doing with Dunkirk until the second time I watched it. So anyway, enough patting myself on the back here. Let me just tell you like what I got from it, or what is true, because now I heard him. So the black and white scenes, similar to Oppenheimer, how he uses them, the black and white scenes are going forward in time and progressing that story. And then everything else is, like, the colored scenes are going backwards until we hit a point where they kind of, like, clash.
And that's where I got confused.
Yeah.
I was like, what is going on here? Like, I thought I understood what was going on.
Yeah. And so where did it lose you?
It lost me where...
Or even till now, what don't you understand? What don't you think you understand?
I understand it now. Because I did do like some reading. So I do understand it now. But before I did that research, right, I was confused with the old couple. You know how he was supposed to be like this, like insurance guy?
Oh, yeah.
And he was talking about his... or he was remembering... the couple, the lady with diabetes,
right.
And
I'm trying to remember his job title, but he works for insurance to see like if they're gonna cover this couple's.
That's made up in his mind,
right? So, what is his? He's an insurance. He's like an agent for insurance that does investigations.
Like an insurance agent,
that does investigations on patients to see like if they're faking it. In other words, to see if they're going to cover it,
right,
or if they're going to be stuck with the bill. Mm. And yeah, I mean, at the end, again, spoilers, we're going to ruin this shit, but you should really watch this movie if you haven't seen it.
Absolutely.
Like, dude, watch this movie. Dudes and dudettes, watch this movie. It's so good. But at the end, he is mixing his own story, what happened to him in real life, and that story. I forgot the name because he has it tatted on it. It's like, remember.
Yeah, so real quick. So this guy, he has short-term memory loss.
Right.
In other words, he can't make new memories. So I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, you're okay. We're cutting each other off. Like, I don't even know who started it. I don't know who started.
He's trying to solve a crime, and the crime is that someone came in. So he stinks to his house, raped and killed his wife, and he's trying to solve that.
And then hit his head, and now that's what caused the memory loss.
So he can't make new memories. So in order for him to remember things, he tattoos important information,
and he takes pictures of people with a Polaroid camera and then writes notes.
But here's the thing: he can't make new memories.
Cool. It's so cool. He's badass.
He can't make new memories. So like the information he's writing down isn't accurate either.
So is he lying to himself? Are people lying to him?
Is he being manipulated? Is he being used?
And we see the story through his perspective, so we don't know what's going on either.
It's so good. It's such a good movie. And I'll leave it at that. We'll talk about it when it comes up on your list. To me, that movie, I'm gonna say it's a 9.
We still haven't even spoiled like major spoilers about the movie. Like that's just the premise.
Yeah.
So if that sold you, watch the movie, and then we'll spoil it when I bring it up. But
his number 5 is Memento,
which is crazy. Like, okay, so now we're entering top tier.
I know.
My top 5 here are just like you have to see these movies. Like, these are I'm gonna recommend to anybody. Like, if you like movies at number
7. Or 8.
Okay, Memento is
the whole Nolan. The whole Nolan.
Memento is so cool. Again, like 10 minutes in, even dude, the way that it opens with the Polaroid camera and he's like shaking it like that, and then the picture is getting is it getting better or worse? Because it's going backwards, so it's getting worse, right?
No.
Because he's shaking it.
No, so he he took the picture,
right?
Took the picture, so he shakes it to actually display it. So it actually I forgot the word
in real time. Yes, but isn't it going? It's going backwards at first because it's like rewinding time. Like the very opening.
Oh, you're right. It's getting worse then.
Yeah, because Jets is a photographer, and she would tell me that like actually like when I don't know if this is true by the way. You can shame her in the comments. She said like actually like shaking a Polaroid makes the picture worse. Like it messes with like the coloring of it, like the paint. I don't know, not paint, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
So he was shaking and it was getting worse. So I was watching, I was like, oh, Jets is right. And it was getting worse, but then it reveals that it's going backwards. So I was like, oh, okay, like that's cool. So already immediately he's telling you like I'm going to mess with time. But just like that opening shot of it, it looked like a video game to me. Like it looked like a first person video game because he's just like shaking and then it goes back and he's shaking and it goes back. And already I was captured by this movie. And again, by like 15 minutes, I was like, this movie is so cool.
Like he shows the end at the beginning.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was a detective at first. You learn later, but like, so whatever. He works for insurance. He is an investigator of some sort. He has those skills. And the fact that right away he kills somebody immediately in the first minute. It's not a spoiler. And again, we're gonna spoil this movie. I recommend it to the fullest. Go watch it. Skip forward if you don't want to spoil this. But he kills somebody, and then it turns out like we're following this mystery. Again, the black and white scenes are going forward, the color scenes are going back, and we're learning more about this story. Huh? Well, I don't know what I just said, to be honest. Colored is going backwards, black and white is going forward.
Whatever, I don't remember. Watch it.
But watch it. Watch it. But point is that we're learning more about him as a person as he is. And we're meeting these characters, and long story short, I'm not going to explain the whole story because even if you are in the spoiler section of this, it's your responsibility to watch this movie. So we're learning that people are taking advantage of him and his condition. That's what he keeps saying, my condition. People are taking advantage of his condition and are using him to do things like Carrie-Anne Moss, the girl from The Matrix. Mm-hmm. She's using him to kill the cop, which is the guy he kills at the beginning.
Well, also her boyfriend. No,
the cop kills her boy or uses him to kill the boyfriend.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're going backwards. So again, the way that he tells the story is that we're learning more as we go back in time. Who thinks of this shit? He does. Or his brother, because his brother apparently wrote this.
His brother helps him a lot for every movie.
Remember, we talked about that yesterday, and then I was telling you that I had just found out, and it was because I saw that video. He was saying that his brother actually wrote this.
I didn't know that. That's
Yeah. We should watch the video after. Or if not, I'll just send you the link. You watch it on your own. It's like 20 minutes, but he's explaining like the timeline and what the colors mean, all that. But point is, all these people are using him and his condition to get their evil deeds done. Right. And ultimately, those don't matter, but they're still interesting to the story because we're revealing more.
Right.
And there's a really cool scene in the mill with Carrie-Anne Moss where she knows about his condition already, and he comes over to her house, and then
I know what you're.
Yeah, and she's like making fun of him and his wife and saying like your slut wife or like your whore wife, whatever. And she's like I can say whatever I want to, and you're not gonna remember anyway. Like she's taking advantage of his condition. He gets pissed off and eventually hits her. I think like a couple times, but he hits her. She's bleeding and shit. And then she's just like, what? And she still, when she came home, she stole all the pens and hid them because he writes himself notes.
Right.
So then, whatever, she's taking advantage of him, took all the pens already, pissed him off. He hits her, beats her. She's all bleeding. She goes outside, waits in the car. And then he's just like, gotta remember, gotta find a pen.
And he's looking for
gotta find a pen. Yeah. And he's looking.
He keeps repeating what happened.
Yeah. And there's no cell phones. This was made, I don't know when it takes place, but this was made in the year 2000. Yeah. So he's like, gotta find a pen. And he's like looking at her outside from the window. And she's just staring at him. And he's looking outside and he's like looking for a pen. And like, she is like the expert at manipulating this guy.
She waited a few minutes.
Just a couple minutes. It was like 2 minutes.
He forgot.
She came back in and then like, as soon as she opens the door, he looks at her and then, instantly, yeah, he forgot and he already reset, and then he's just like, oh, what happened to you? And then she was just like what do you think happened to me? And then it's like, so and so beat me up because you told me to go over there. So it's just this fake story that she made up, but she's so good at manipulating him and his situation, and we think the whole time that the other guy's the bad guy, which is the cop, which he is. He's manipulating him as well and taking advantage of his condition. So everybody's taking advantage of him.
Even the guy at the motel.
Oh yeah,
remember,
yeah.
At one point,
to raise his rent or whatever.
You have like two rooms or something, and he's like, "What?"
He's like, why do I have 2 rooms? He's like, well, it's because like we know about your condition and we wanted like to.
He should have told him like, "Oh, we're just using you."
Yeah, he pretty much tells him, and he's like, "Well, thank you for your honesty." Played by Guy Pearce, by the way.
Oh yeah, Guy Pearce.
Right, Guy
Pearce.
Right.
Something Pearce. I'm pretty sure it's Guy.
Am I messing that up? Yeah, you go ahead and confirm that for me.
No. I'm pretty sure it's Pearce. It's Pearce something or Pearce.
So I'll explain even further what's happening here. So everybody's taking
Guy Pearce.
Okay, perfect. So everybody's taking advantage of him. Which, by the way, Guy Pearce is in Iron Man 3. Mm-hmm. And now I'm more upset than ever. I've never been an Iron Man 3 hater because of like the Mandarin reveal. But now I'm upset because Guy Pearce is so good. And all I know him from is Iron Man 3. And they just misused him. He should have done more. He should have lived. We should see more of him. He killed it. He was so damn good. Like, this is one of my favorite characters of all time now. Just because of how weird that is. A guy that has short-term memory loss, that has to tattoo stuff on him so that he can remember.
Leonard. His name's Leonard.
Remember? His name is?
Yeah, Leonard.
I'm so bad with names.
In the movie, yeah, Leonard.
Okay. So, as I was mentioning, everybody takes advantage of him, and then at the end it's revealed even he takes advantage of himself. It's so good. So, it's revealed that the whole time that he already killed his wife's rapist. And turns out that his wife actually survived the attack. Which, by the way, I believe everything he says. I know that there's a discussion, or at least like I was watching some kind of funny videos, and they were talking about like whether or not we should believe the cop. I forgot his name. Whether we should believe the cop, but I'm talking about from a writing perspective, from Nolan. Why would he be lying to us? Like, that just doesn't make any sense.
And the cop is actually what's his name?
Yeah, I see. He's
a big actor.
Yeah, he's in Bad Boys. That's what I know him from.
Joe Pantoliano.
Okay, yeah. I only know him from Bad Boys. I can't remember anything else he's from. But he's great, too. He killed it. Good. But anyway, so he finally reveals to him. So he's the guy that he kills in the beginning of the movie.
Right.
But we're rewinding all the way back to the reason why he even wants to kill this cop character is because he made a note to himself to search for him. Yeah. To kill him. But let me rewind.
Don't trust him too.
Yeah.
Don't trust a word he says.
So let me rewind just a little bit further too. In that scene where the cop character is revealing to our protagonist here, he's revealing to him like, I was the original like case manager or whatever, like the cop that was like covering your case, and like I felt sorry for you, and I helped you find the killer or the rapist, whatever. You already killed him. Your wife isn't dead. She's actually the one that has diabetes, and you're mixing the stories up. You're mixing the stories up from because the whole movie we're explaining that he had this one case where this one guy had short-term memory loss, but he thought he was faking it. And they're doing all these tests where it's like he's faking it because even if he has short-term memory loss, his body should remember the shock test. They're doing a little shock test, and his body or mind should remember that don't touch this piece because you're going to get shocked, but he keeps failing. So because his body doesn't remember, his body, quote unquote, doesn't remember, that means that he's faking it. And I understand that if you don't know what I'm talking about, that you're confused right now, well, guess what? Watch the movie. That's your fault. But if you have watched the movie, then this makes total sense to you. So point is, I'm just going to fast forward a little bit. Point is, he's mixing the stories together. He is actually using his condition to repress all these feelings and memories, and is giving himself purpose because his wife left him. Go ahead. So he gives himself purpose. He needs meaning in life. He gives himself purpose by taking advantage of his condition and giving himself a purpose by finding new people to kill. So he is a goddamn serial killer. He's a murderer.
You didn't talk the main thing that I wanted you to talk about.
Go ahead, bring it up. There's a lot in this movie.
He actually ended up killing his wife by giving her too much insulin.
Well, does he?
That was him.
Okay, because that's something I didn't consider, because
that was him.
He is mixing him, like not you. He is mixing the stories together. So I'm kind of confused on what happened. My understanding
was that he made all that up. That's all in his mind.
Well, his wife definitely got raped and assaulted.
Yeah, but that story of that old lady and the old dad, that's actually him and his wife.
See, my interpretation, I didn't think so, because let me just tell you my interpretation just in general, all of it. So that case was real. That the other guy, I forgot his name, but the case, the guy that he was like whatever investigating, right? Because they said for sure, at least the cop says, that he was a con man. So like you revealed him as a con man, and you were right. But his wife didn't have diabetes. Your wife had diabetes. So I guess I'm like figuring it out right now as I'm talking to you as well. So I didn't get, because it just sounds like, I guess from a writing perspective, it just sounds like too much. Where it sounds like, okay, she got raped and assaulted, and no, because he does mention that she left. He said that she left you because she thought you were faking it.
Watch it. Let's move on.
Well, point is that he is mixing the stories together. I don't think that he killed his wife. I don't think so.
I think he does.
You think he does kill his wife?
I won't get into that anymore because we've already spent plenty of time on this one.
But this is one that I did want to spend time with, because this one was incredible, like all the way through.
Watch it; it's great. Once you watch it,
let
us
back
to our post.
Let us know your thoughts, man. Leave a comment.
Anyway,
but yeah. So did I rate the last one? Are we on the first one?
So you haven't rated
Jesus, we're still on the first one on my section. So Memento, 9 out of 10.
It's a great movie.
It's great.